Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and lock your doors. You have entered the world of the unknown. Welcome to the Dead Hour broadcast.
The rain wasn't just falling, it was hammering against the roof of Blackwood Manor, demanding to be let in. Daniel stood in the grand foyer, his breath pluming in the frigid air. The heating system had died in 1998, coincidentally the same year his grandfather, the reclusive Arthur Blackwood, had disappeared. Daniel wasn't here for ghosts. He was here for the appraisal. He was a house flipper. He saw dollar signs in the mahogany banisters and the marble fireplaces. But even he had to admit, the silence here was heavy. It felt attentive. He spent the first day clearing out trash. It was mundane work until he reached the attic. The attic smelled of cedar and decay. In the far corner, standing alone against the brick chimney, was a tall object draped in a heavy velvet cloth. A thick layer of dust coated the fabric. Daniel approached it. Pinned to the velvet was a yellowed note, written in shaky, frantic cursive. "Do not uncover. He wants to be you." Daniel scoffed. "Nice try, Grandpa," he muttered. He gripped the heavy fabric and pulled. Dust billowed. When it settled, Daniel found himself staring into a magnificent floor-length mirror. The frame was obsidian, carved with twisting vines that looked disturbingly like grasping fingers. The glass was old, slightly wavy, but remarkably clear. He looked at his reflection. He looked tired. A smudge of dirt was on his left cheek. He reached up and wiped it off. In the mirror, his reflection stood still. Daniel froze. His hand was still touching his face, but the Daniel in the mirror had his hands by his sides. "Okay," Daniel whispered, his heart skipping a beat. "Trick of the light. Warped glass." He blinked. The reflection blinked a second later. Panic, cold and sharp, spiked in his chest. He took a step back. The reflection took a step forward. What the hell? That night, the storm worsened. The power, predictably, went out. Daniel sat in the living room with a battery-powered lantern, trying to ignore the ceiling above him. Scritch, scritch, scritch. A sound from upstairs, like a fingernail dragging across glass. Daniel grabbed the lantern. "Hello? Is someone there?" Silence. Then a heavy thud, like a body hitting the floor. He had to go up. He grabbed a heavy iron poker from the fireplace. He walked up the stairs, the wood groaning under his feet. The darkness at the top of the stairs seemed to swirl. He pushed the attic door open. The lantern light swung wildly. The room was empty, except for the mirror. Daniel walked toward it, compelled by a sick curiosity. The glass was black in the dim light. He raised the lantern. There was his reflection, but it was wrong. In the mirror, the room behind him wasn't the dusty attic. It was a cold gray void, and the Daniel in the mirror was smiling. Daniel was not smiling. The reflection's smile was too wide, stretching the skin until it looked like it might tear. Its eyes were dead voids. Then the reflection spoke. It didn't make a sound, but Daniel heard the voice in his head, a dry, rasping whisper. "It's cold in here, Daniel. Let's trade." Daniel stumbled back. "What are you?" "I am the one who waits," the voice echoed, "and you have waited long enough." In the flashing lantern light, he saw the reflection press its hands against the glass from the inside. The glass began to bulge outward like a soap bubble. A hand, pale and wet, emerged through the glass. Then an arm, then a shoulder. "No! Stay back!" Daniel screamed. He swung the iron poker with all his might. Crash! The sound was deafening. Shards of glass exploded outward. The creature vanished instantly. Daniel stood there, panting, his heart hammering against his ribs. The mirror was destroyed. Just jagged teeth of glass remained in the frame. He laughed, a hysterical, broken laugh. "I broke it! It's over!" He turned to the door. He needed to leave. He needed to get away from Blackwood Manor forever. He ran downstairs, grabbed his car keys, and threw open the front door. He ran into the rain, reaching for his car door handle. His hand passed right through the metal. Daniel froze. He tried again. His hand went through the car door like it was made of smoke. He looked down at his body. He looked faded, gray, desaturated. He spun around, looking back at the house. Standing in the doorway, under the porch light, was Daniel, a solid flesh and blood Daniel. He was holding the car keys. He looked at the ghostly figure in the rain and smiled that wide, terrible smile. "Thanks for the swap, Danny," the entity said aloud. The voice was Daniel's own. "I'm going to enjoy your life." The entity got into the car, started the engine, and drove away. Daniel screamed, but no sound came out. He turned to run after the car, but he hit an invisible wall at the edge of the property. He turned back to the house. The world around him was gray, silent, cold. He walked back inside, drawn by a force he couldn't control. Up the stairs, into the attic. He looked at the broken frame. The glass was repairing itself, shard by shard flying back into place. As the last piece clicked in, Daniel found himself looking out. He saw the attic, he saw the dust. He was on the other side of the glass. He was the reflection now, and he would have to wait for the next fool to pull off the cover.
The story ends here, but the fear remains. If you want to survive the night, hit that subscribe button. And remember, don't look under your bed tonight.